Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to do something that I haven't done for a while on the channel, but I have a lot of fun doing. For those of you that don't know, usually when updates are coming but haven't quite arrived yet before the patch notes, but after we have a feeling of what is to come, I like to speculate about game modes, character changes, uniform, stuff like that. And then I also like to take a moment and call out, shout out, and shine a light on the underwhelming, in need of help heroes and villains in Marvel Future Fight. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I've compiled a list of the 7, in no particular order, it's not a top 7, but just 7 heroes very closely tied to the Infinity War movie that desperately need Netmarble's attention. If they're going to be among the first tier 3s, they better have really amazing tier 3 effects, and it better be super impactful because these are among the least used heroes. And while I don't have stats to back this up, if you probably could look at the Netmarble stats, the Marvel Future Fight stats for World Boss clears, Shadowland clears, I'm guessing that these characters would be among the bottom 10% of usage rates. So they're just not being used. On top of that, I like doing these because it gives us an opportunity to look out for characters that might, go from 0 to hero, basically like the dark horse of the update. And it also gives you an idea of who to steer clear of if you're still thinking about making some last minute tier 2s or last minute uniform purchases for Infinity War. These are not the characters to invest in yet, but they could be, and maybe we'll look back on this video and smile when some of the changes to these characters reflect a greater impact, fingers crossed, that we can all benefit from. So I think one of the first heroes, and keep in mind all of these heroes I have not tier 2'd, which shouldn't be a surprise to you because I try to avoid the worst tier 2s, but that's for another video, is War Machine. Oh boy, oh boy. He's kind of the yin to Iron Man's yang in some ways, but he is just woefully underpowered. He hasn't gotten anything in so long. The last time he changed at all was his Civil War uniform, and it literally did nothing. It changed one of his abilities to basically cast faster. Wow. So he essentially got an attack speed bonus on one of his skills, not even on all of his skills. He's a terrible character. Really low damage. Even at tier 2, his damage is not spectacular. No iframes, very little crowd control. He's basically frustrating to use because of how challenging it is. And if you want a true challenge, try to complete any kind of world boss, specifically and exclusively with War Machine. Even try to complete Shadowland stages with him, especially at tier 1. It's going to be a nightmare, and he needs the Elektra facelift. He needs the Tony Stark Moneybags Supreme ×5. He really needs a lot, and I hope he gets it because he honestly deserves it. He's a super cool character in the comics, and I think if Netmarble has the cojones to give Punisher the all of these uniforms are all mixed up now. It's hard for me to find them because I reversed the order. If they have the cojones to give Punisher the War Machine uniform and make him into a badass, they could just copy and paste the skills and give them to War Machine. How hard is that? That would be fine. And he'd be a great character and he would look cool. Missiles flying everywhere. Come on. Just do it. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Another character that starts with W, who also deserves some more bang in his gun, is Winter Soldier. It's been a long winter for the Winter Soldier. And he's supposed to be, not as strong as Captain America, but pretty close. And it's not even close to close. Without using this uniform and cheesing his immunity on cover fire by skill canceling it, he has no survivability. He's got basically half an iframe and that's it, and he gets completely roasted in all game modes. He has one of the worst tier 2 passives in the game. He gets 100% ignore dodge for 1 second. Yeah. So when you're thinking about whether you should... Oh, and it only has a 45% chance to happen. When you're thinking about whether you should tier 2 Winter Soldier, take 1 second to think about it, okay? That's all the time you need. Seriously, Winter Soldier needs his summer. We need Summer Soldier. He needs to be scorching hot. and needs to just rip through everyone with guns. He needs to use that big, muscular, robotic arm to just rip everyone's head off. That has to happen, okay? He's supposed to be so much better than this. It's not even close. If he could approximate or come close to Cap's power level at tier 3, when Cap's at tier 3, not Cap's tier 2, that would be great. Next up on the list, very close to Winter Soldier, Wong. Despite the fact that he has a uniform which looks nothing like the movie, I don't know where they got the sword from, he's terrible. And the actor who plays Wong and the Wong that's in the comics that everybody really enjoys as, Doctor Strange's sidekick, like Robin to Batman, is great. And he's just so poorly represented in this game. Just do him a favor, He doesn't have a lot going for him. He's always constantly overshadowed. He's literally a butler at in some points. So he definitely deserves not only he deserves a lot more work from me, but we'll talk about that later. He not only deserves a uniform that actually looks like the actor, because we have the Benedict Cumberbatch version for Doctor Strange, and we have the Caecilius that looks like Mads. He deserves a lot of changes to his skills. He's got some good stuff going on. He's got the Mystic Shield. He's got a pretty good tier 2 passive, but he still needs a lot of love, especially in the DPS department. Sticking with the speed types, we have Gamora. Now, she got a couple of uniforms. They're both kind of trash. She got a change to her uniform, still trash. I've basically said it all. You can go back and watch tons of videos where I've talked about Gamora. Her tier 2 passive doesn't do enough. Her skills have animations that are way too long and do way too little damage. For some reason, they left all of the caps lock on when they typed out this skill. So it's pretty embarrassing. They couldn't even quality check their own update. So when you equip this uniform, for some reason, she gets full caps. Dangerous flight. No. Dangerous flight! It's pretty sad. That kind of tells you everything you need to know, and it shows you how much effort and how much time they're spending on Gamora. About 1 second. So if they spent an hour, that would be fantastic. Next to Gamora, my boy Hawkeye. Not really sure how much time he's actually going to spend in Infinity War, if we're going to see him at all, but he is probably the weakest Avenger, bar none. He is just so far behind Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and everybody else. He's one of the worst speed characters in the game. He's got a pretty gimmicky tier 2 passive. It only has a 60% chance to cast again. Like, seriously, a tier 2 passive that doesn't actually do something part of the time is so incredibly bad, because it's basically you're saying that 40% of the time I don't have a tier 2 passive. Yes, you have the stat bonus, but unless the stat bonus is like 10,000 physical attack or 20,000 HP, it doesn't matter. Because 40% of the time, I don't have a tier 2 passive, or in this case, Hawkeye doesn't. So, hook the boy up. Give him the Kate Bishop treatment. Again, it's the Punisher thing all over again. You obviously, Netmarble devs obviously know how to build a cool Archer character. Obviously. Give Hawkeye the curves that he deserves, and give his bow the curve that it deserves as well. Moving on to the combat types, we have our first entry into the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Drax is kind of the bottom of the Guardians barrel. No uniform, no buffs, nothing. He has literally seen one change since he came out. This uniform. Ugly as hell, also garbage. That's it. One of the characters with the least amount of effort as far as dev focus goes. It's just sad how bad he is, and it's hilarious how much effort you have to put into him for him to do anything at all. It's just like, look, I'm currently ranked 23,000, and I've literally done nothing. I have a tier 1 Drax. I've literally put 0 effort into him. All I've done is his gears. That's it. That's a huge embarrassment. And Dave, the actor who plays him, is doing a fantastic job bringing the character to life. He's supposed to be the hunter of Thanos. I've taught Drax is like Gamora. I've kind of beat the horse until it was dead, and now I'm resurrecting the horse to ride it around, looking for Netmarble devs to slap on the back of the head. It is just unexcusable how bad he is. Him and Gamora need a total facelift. The next one I'm going to talk about, and actually the last one on this 7 kind of deadly character list, is one that I didn't think I would be talking about, but I do have to be honest. Hulkbuster. Personally, I hate Hulkbuster. I wish that he would be deleted from the game because I think it's silly to have a non-sentient piece of armor as an actual playable character. It's pretty insulting to both Hulk and Iron Man. Whatever, fine. He's in the game. Can't get rid of him. But there's a couple things wrong with the character. For one, he's trash. I mean, his damage is good, but it's basically just his 5th skill and his 4th skill. And you just combo those and you activate your damage proc, and that's it. So really, really boring, one-dimensional character. Secondly, and if you pay close attention now, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The artwork. They did his armor, and then they stopped on his arms. And his hands have really poor resolution. And you can see right now when you're looking that both of his gloves look like they're from 1995. And actually his cannons do as well. You can literally see the pixelation on that cannon. It's bizarre. I don't know if the devs were lazy, if they fell asleep, if they forgot. They obviously didn't do that with his base model. Base model's fine. But somebody skipped and went to lunch early when they were working on Hulkbuster. And it's literally never been changed. This uniform has been in the game for over a year, and bubkiss. So yeah, he really deserves a little bit more than this. And honestly, he should go back to his iconic red, because nobody knows who the hell this is. They're like, what is this? Megatron? Is this Transformers? Who the hell is this guy? Listen, Hulkbuster has very limited use as it is in the MCU. He's a fringe character at best. If you're going to have him in there, at least give him the iconic colors so that people are, oh, it's Hulkbuster. It's the big Hulk that smashes, or it's the big Iron Man that smashes Hulk. It's the Hulkbuster. Haha. Just do that, okay? Or delete him. I'm fine with either, but seriously, it's embarrassing. And give us a new uniform so that I don't have to look at the, 1996 Zelda graphics from the N64, okay? Last but not least, I have 5 honorable mention characters that didn't make this list, but I just want to quickly rattle off because I'm secretly hoping that they also get buffs for Infinity War. The only one I'm going to mention outright is Nebula. She was supposed to be killed in the original Guardians of the Galaxy movie. She made it into part 2. She was fantastic, and now she's in so much of the promo and kind of marketing going on for Infinity War, despite the fact that I don't think I've seen her in any of the trailers. But I think she's great, and I think she's got the makings of a good character, and she's a villain, and she's combat, so that's cool. I really think that Nebula has the space to become a fantastic character, especially knowing that she's the other half of the Thanos children. And spoiler alert, in the original Infinity comic series, she actually takes the glove and the Infinity Stones away from Thanos. She's the first one to get power, I think, or maybe the second one after Adam. I can't remember, but yeah, so she's kind of a badass, FYI. So she deserves it. And I mentioned Gamora, so it's hard for me not to mention her sort of sister. And then the last 4, some of them are Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon deserve love. I think Iron Man deserves a little bit more love because he's kind of fallen behind despite the fact that he got a buff with Spider-Man Homecoming. It wasn't enough. And then finally, Falcon. He got a uniform and it's good, but he's still kind of Mostly with Falcon, it has to do with his tier 2 passive. It's complete garbage. So if they could change that with his tier 3, or if they could just change that and then give him his tier 3, that would be great. So let me know what you guys think of the 7 characters that need buffs for Infinity War. Let me know who you would choose if you could only choose one character, and maybe it's not even on my list, but make sure they're part of the Infinity War movie in some capacity. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my content. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.